So here's an interesting thing. The Wife and Her House Husband, which is a new film by Markou, who a decade ago made and distributed a tiny budget indie hit, Papadopoulos and Sons.
I'm not opening a fish and chip shop! I'm not!
The film, the new film, is being distributed in cinemas with a short film that's on YouTube. The short film is called Two Strangers Who Meet Five Times. And apparently on YouTube, it has close to 3 million views, which is kind of interesting. And you can see why, because it's a very well done short film. And it sort of intersects with this in a number of ways.
Have you got a problem? What are you doing? It's a cash point. Have you got a problem? It's a cash point.
In the case of the new film, The Wife and Her Husband, absolutely, rock bottom, low budget, stripped down entirely. So Lawrence Spellman and Laura Baston, we meet at the beginning. They are a couple who are in the middle of an acrimonious divorce proceeding.
I gave up my teaching career for you!
You gave it up. No, because we discussed that together.
Okay. Let's not start this again.
I'm not asking for much in return.
It just feels like, I don't know, like your obsession to control again.
And as the title suggests, it gradually becomes apparent that she was the money maker. He was at home with the kids. She has a letter that they wrote together that he has no memory of when they were first together, which says, if we ever split up, we must do the following things. And those things start with, you must go for a coffee together. He says at first, I don't want anything to do with this. I just want this done. But he gradually agrees to do it. So the first thing is to go for a coffee. And then the things that their past selves told their present selves to do become more intimate, more adventurous. And slowly the story starts to reveal itself, the way in which their lives were personally separated, in which they seemed to have an open marriage, you think. This strange sadomasochistic element that's reminiscent of one of the key themes of Eyes Wide Shut. The inevitable realization that actually what's going on isn't to do with that at all, but what it's really to do with is to do with facing grief and facing loss.
Serenity, and it feels like peace and calm and acceptance and love, like so much love.
You can imagine this being performed as a two-hander in the Almeida, for example. But it is ambitious and it aims high with very, very scant resources. And more importantly, it has an idea. It has a philosophy. And I always quote that thing about in David Cronenberg's Videodrome, in which the character says, the thing about Videodrome is it has a philosophy and that's what makes it dangerous. I love that line because when we were talking about Luther, I know this seems like a weird comparison. Luther does not have a philosophy, right? Luther is just a bunch of stuff, epic, blockbuster, spectacular. Champions is about something. As is this. It has an idea. It was an idea explored and expressed with very, very few resources. And I do think that the short film is really charming. And it was interesting seeing the two of them together. I'm a big fan of shorts being back in cinemas. This is a chance to do that, to see a feature and to see the short film. The film is The Wife and Her House Husband. I think it is worth seeking out. And particularly, it's a brutal time for independent film distribution. And it's good to see anyone having a crack and actually managing to get an audience.